Taiwan Semiconductor is down 30% from its recent high. Is right now the perfect time to buy, and where could the price be going next? These are the questions I'm going to be answering in this video, and we're going to answer the first question, is right now the perfect time to buy, by using this Fibonacci retracement tool. So looking at the price, we can see that from around these lows, price went up to this high before we started seeing this current retracement. So if we draw the Fibonacci tool from these lows up to this high, we get something that looks like this. And the way this works is, in the stock market, when prices start retracing, they tend to find support at these levels of the Fibonacci. The price didn't like being below this Fibonacci level, that's why we see a long tail on this daily candle here. But eventually when that broke, we found support at the next Fibonacci level, and currently it looks like we are heading down to this area. This dark green area of the Fibonacci tool is known as the golden zone, and it's called the golden zone because when prices start retracing, we tend to see most of them come down to this dark green area before finding strong support and bouncing back up. And that makes these levels ideal for entries. So what are these levels? The first level is going to be around here. This is $155. And the level below this one is going to be around here. This is $138. So an entry strategy you might want to consider is getting in around the higher Fibonacci level and dollar cost averaging at the lower level if the price continues retracing down to here. So that's the entry side of things. However, getting a good entry is only the first step. It's equally important to have a good exit strategy in place. And we can get an exit strategy using this Fibonacci extension tool. Before we dive into that, I think it's worth addressing the elephant in the room, which is the recent sell-off we've been seeing in the market. The S&P 500 is down 12% from its recent high, and other stocks like we saw with Taiwan Semiconductors are down even more. But a retracement like this is nothing new in the market. In 2022, we saw a similar retracement, which was even greater. The S&P 500 was down about 27%, but it eventually recovered and made all-time highs again. And we have seen even greater retracements in the past, and the S&P 500 has always recovered. So retracements like these present an opportunity to buy at a discount. Buying the S&P 500 now would result in a 14% increase when the price gets back to its all-time highs again. And buying stocks of individual companies that have retraced even further would yield an even greater return if the price of those stocks bounced up to where they retraced from. But one thing worth watching out for is that not all stocks that have retraced will bounce back up. There are many stocks that retraced with the S&P 500 in 2022 and they have still not recovered, and the same goes for the stocks that sold off in 2020 alongside the S&P 500. Some of those have still not recovered back to their previous levels. So if you are going down the individual stocks route, it's very important that you pick your stocks wisely. The most profitable way I've found to do this is by tracking trades made by US politicians. These are the returns I've seen over the past 3 years from tracking trades made by US politicians. We can see that in 2022, even though the S&P 500 was down 19%, if you had traded alongside some key politicians, you would have actually been up 77%. And when the overall market conditions are better, you can expect even better results. This is why I mostly only invest in individual stocks when key politicians are involved. If you are wondering how I do this and how you can too, I put together a free video on my website that walks you through exactly how I do this and how you can too. The link to this video is in the description below, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. Coming back to the Fibonacci extension, if we do something similar to before, going from these lows up to this high, and this time if we pull the tool down to where this retracement has ended, we get something that looks like this. And the way this works is when the price starts climbing up, these are the areas where we tend to see resistance. And knowing this, investors like to lock in some of their profits around these levels, which puts them in a good position to buy back at a discount if the price retraces. So based on this, what are some levels where you might want to consider taking some profits? The first level is going to be around here. This is $211. The next level is $228. And the third level is around here. This is $245. So locking in some profits as the price climbs up to these levels could be an exit strategy you might want to consider. I will be making update videos as the price gets to these key levels. So if you'd like to stay up to date, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you found this video helpful, consider dropping a like on the video as that helps out the channel a lot. It's also worth mentioning I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research and your own analysis before you make any investment decisions. That brings us to the end of the video. If you would like to learn how to profit like a politician, then the link to this free video is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.